I just want to preface this video by acknowledging that I recently hit 1,000 subscribers. That's amazing. Thanks, guys. If you've watched the Clone Wars and noticed how strange and mystical the force powers that the Nightsisters of Dathomir use, then you're not alone. The emerald green energies acting as a stark contrast to the blood-red Dathomir environment. Dubbed Dathomir, or Nightsister magic, it was a unique usage of the Force, based around the use of Spirit Ichor, which I assume is an interpretation of the Cosmic Force. Nightsister culture holds that this Spirit Ichor is channeled via the powers of the daughter from Mortis, whom they refer to as the Winged Goddess. For the most part, only Nightsister shamans could channel this power. And apparently, most witches were unaware that the power they harnessed was in fact the Force. So, before I get into each ability, I want to give a quick history of the Nightsisters themselves. So, around 7 centuries before the Battle of Yavin, a Jedi Knight named Alia was seduced by the dark side of the Force, and as a result, the Jedi Council exiled her to Dathomir. The reason being, Dathomir at the time was a harsh penal colony. Dathomir hosted a population of humans, and Alia enslaved them, as well as taught them how to tame rancors using the Force. Alia is noted to be the first person who first discovered and taught Nightsister magics to her people. A different branch of magic will later be formed by the Night Mother, Githserion, called Shadow Magic, which more heavily used the dark side of the Force and did not require rituals or spoken words to initiate the magic. Normally, to cast Nightsister magic, a user had to cast what they called a spell, via chanting, dancing, singing, or writing it. It should be noted that this can only be done in the Dathomiri language. So that's all the relevant history, I guess. If you want a more detailed video about that, let me know. But onto the abilities. For most of them, not much can really be said, so this might seem like a short list. Aspect of the Storm was likely a variant of Force Storm, being able to manipulate the sky and turn a bright, sunny day into a delayed lightning storm. It's unknown if this was limited to Dathomir. Blood Trail was when a Nightsister would place her own blood on an object or person, usually their slaves, and with this link, be able to track them using the Force. Control Web was basically using the Force to control various beasts at one time. Ears of the Chiroptics was a spell that greatly enhanced the user's hearing and acted as a sort of echolocation, being able to use sounds to create a mental image of what they are and where they are. Environmental Attunement is probably the most boring one on this list. It basically just lets the user adapt to their environment, and it's pretty much useless if you have a fur coat. Mesmerism is what Mother Talzin and Ventress use on Darth Maul and Savage Opress when they tap their forehead and makes the cool sound. And I'm assuming it's a form of Force Corrupt, and it pretty much lets them mind control the person that they tap. Mind Speech was a simple spell that allowed the user to cast her mind and talk to someone telepathically. Revitalization of the Wufa was a spell that basically heals an elderly person or wounded person, or in extreme cases, regrows lost limbs. Scream of the Saurian is probably a unique form of Force Scream, and the spell projects a loud hunting call of a Saurian dragon, and when directed at a foe, it could shatter their eardrums. A Seeking spell is very similar to the Blood Trail. Uses the Force to sense the presence of a certain person, as well as their current physical state. I assume this is probably done with like voodoo magic, which I'll touch on later in the video. You have to have like a certain part of that person to track them down, but whatever. Surge of the Briar, this one's actually kind of cool. It's like Poison Ivy's powers, like you can control plants and vines and shit. Now with telekinesis though, you actually mind control the plants. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. I assume this is what Ventress used when she dueled Anakin on Yavin 4, but I might be wrong, but I'm probably not. Tempest is pretty much like Aspect of the Storm, you just manipulate the weather. Touch of the Kindred allows the user to climb a vertical surface. An unnamed spell allows the user to trap a Force Ghost into a vial. I don't really know what that could be used for, but it's kind of cool, I guess. It's from canon, so it might show up in the future sometime. Sense of the Vesha gives you rat powers. lets you smell things from like 100 meters away. Speed of the Tucha is literally just force speed. Spell of Assistance is force healing. Spell of Awareness. It says here it enhances the user's senses. I don't know by how much or how little. So, there's that. Spell of Cinder. Fireball. Spell of Comfort allows the user to make an injured recipient that is in pain, I assume both physical or mental, to make it feel like they're not in pain. Okay. Also, if you touch someone, you can, I guess, drain away their pain. So, that's cool. Spell of Creature Understanding. It lets you know what an animal is thinking. Simple as that. Spell of Discovery allows the user to detect all life around a 10-meter radius. It's basically the Detect Life spell from Skyrim, but, Spell of Interpretation just translates the language into your own, as long as the spell is being continuously casted. It also lets you speak said language. Spell of Lightning is just green force lightning. Spell of Mimicry allows the user to change their appearance. I'm not sure to what extent or for how long. Spell of Open Mind is just mind reading, but it can be used on multiple people at once if you wanted to, but it only works on present thoughts, so no memories. Spell of Power allows the user to enhance one of her attributes, such as her strength, intelligence, or agility, etc., etc. It's basically a perk from Fallout, because that's basically what it is. It's your special stat. Spell of Protection is just like a green force barrier. It's a bubble around your person that casts it, and it protects you from physical attacks and force powers. Spell of Structure is basically using telekinesis to use the ground to create a mud hut. That's it. That's the spell. Look here. That's what it says. That's what it says. It uses the force to create a simple structure out of the ground. So it's a mud hut. It's great. This is great. And last and least is Spell of Thought Touch. It is literally the same as Mind Speech, if you remember what that is. It's using the force to project your thoughts into someone else's thoughts. So I said I'd talk about voodoo, and I guess I will. It's pretty much the same thing as real life quote-unquote voodoo, so I won't patronize you explaining what it is, but it's actually real. Yeah, that's pretty much all the Nightsister magics. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.